Howdy y'all, I'm Wayne from Dallas, Texas, and I react to all things UK. Got another video today about a place in the UK called Cornwall. Now this video is called Cornwall, a Celtic nation trapped in England, Cornish language, culture, and identity. This is by a channel I haven't reacted to before called Tyrion Friedman. And I'll put a link in the video description. Now, what do I know about Cornwall? Very little, if I'm honest. I know where it's located in England. I know that you have historic past separate from other parts of the UK, and that you one time had your own language, Cornish, which I think some people are trying to bring back these days. That's about it, to be honest. Now, I did react to another video that you should be able to find, looks like this, on my channel. That is about the pasty, which I'm an enthusiast of. And so that was a really interesting video to watch by a channel called Magenta Otter Travels. So this one, I'm interested in getting into some of the culture, the language, and the identity of your area. I'm hoping it's a good video. If you're new around here, you can check out this video over on my channel on my reaction to Surrey. And that'll explain a little bit more about who I am, what I'm doing here, and why I love the UK. But I'm super excited to get into this video and learn things that I certainly don't know. So let's get started. Oh, lovely.
Dith da. That's hello in a language that was brought back from the brink of extinction at the beginning of the 20th century.
Wow. What a gorgeous coast, right? I mean, whew, that's a thing of beauty right there. Look how blue that water is. Wow.
At the southwesternmost tip of the UK, beyond these cliffs, there's nothing but thousands of miles of Atlantic Ocean until the shores of North America. This is Cornwall, home to over 500,000 people and once upon a time a totally independent kingdom, but now administered as a county of England.
Okay.
It's one of the Celtic nations and has maintained a distinct identity and even its own language for centuries, despite losing its independence over 1,000 years ago. Many people here don't consider themselves to be English. They are, first and foremost, Cornish.
Wow.
This is one of Britain's most culturally underrepresented regions. And as a result, a lot of people in the rest of the UK don't realise that the Cornish are ethnically and culturally distinct from the English. So post-lockdown, I took an 8-hour train to Truro, Cornwall's capital, to find out why this particular part of Great Britain is so unique.
Are you from Truro?
I've forgotten how to do this. It's been so long since I've been anywhere.
Wow. Okay, well, it looks like this video must have been made during COVID. Oh yeah, see, it's 3 years old, but still, I hope I can learn a lot from it. But yeah, let's keep this going. Wow, what a gorgeous area. Yeah, ooh, what is that?
The Celtic nations have very different historical roots to England. Without going into tons of detail, they're pockets where the Celtic tribes that once dominated much of Europe continued to thrive, despite foreign conquests of the British Isles. That meant that in those regions, Celtic culture didn't change in the same way that English culture did, with the new arrivals, and persisted until today, in what is now Cornwall, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, the Isle of Man, and Brittany in northwestern France. But that raises a question.
Wow.
What actually defines Cornish identity? While I was there, I spoke with some locals, socially distanced of course, in person and on Zoom. About this all too often ignored culture.
Mebyn Cerno is in the Cornish language, and it means sons and daughters of Cornwall. It's why you'll see the words Cerno used a lot in Cornwall, because it's a reclaiming of the Cornish word for Cornwall. I've always been proud to be Cornish, but I would say that the symbols and the expression of that identity is actually greater now.
Really?
I think that people probably 40, 50, 60 years ago felt that it kind of went without saying. For me, diversity, it's not about ignoring our distinct identities. It's about celebrating those distinct identities. And Cornwall is an incredibly historic but incredibly important part of the wonderful mix that makes up that diversity.
There's a very strong connection with the landscape and almost a feeling of belonging to it and a bit belonging to you in Cornwall. And not necessarily you as an individual, but you as a group. In each and every one of us, certainly in me, we identify strongly with it. And it's not only my generation, but my predecessors did as well. And I know that because they told me, they told me they felt as though it was something alive, almost. My grandfather certainly did. He felt it was a living thing.
Well, I think...
Let me know if you're from Cornwall, if you're Cornish, if you're from Truro, which is the town where he's at. This shot right now of this little island that's on the screen, what is that? Yeah, what a beautiful area and coastline you have there. I'm a little jealous. It's just gorgeous. So yeah, if you're Cornish or if you live there, you'd like to visit there, please get in the comments. I do read them, and I'd love to hear from you. Let's keep going.
Things like the melancholy, that's special, isn't it? It's a face that people see of the Cornish that they mistake as being grumpy, but it's something that's brought on by where you live and how hard it can be at times, or how you deal with the situation. It's a calmness about people that is very often mistaken.
As you will see, Tyrone, we are a very passionate people. You are the worst of enemies and the best of friends. We will fight you to the bitter end. But win or lose, we will then take you for a pint.
Okay.
The Cornish have always been quite clannish and stuck together. Their motto is one and all, which means we like people to be individual, but we also stick together.
And I think the geography of Cornwall being that we're quite isolated, you don't cross borders very often. It's very much more condensed.
When you cross the Tamar, and it's an emotional thing when you cross
Tamar River.
Yeah.
The River Tamar. Okay.
Every group of people has different waves of identity. The identity of Cornwall before the Industrial Revolution would be very different, would be around fishing, farming. With the Industrial Revolution, it's very much based around mining and Methodism.
That legacy of mining is scattered across the Cornish countryside. Abandoned mines dot the coastline, and Cornwall's mining landscape is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Oh, okay. UNESCO.
But that's just it. It's heritage. There are no functioning mines left here, which means that a working tradition, once an integral part of Cornwall's identity, passed down through generations, has disappeared.
I guess we're in a new phase now, because there is deindustrialization. We're in the 21st century, so Cornwall's identity will be different today from how it was 200 years ago. And to me, again, optimistically, that's an exciting challenge. I'm not saying we should recreate Cornwall. I'm saying we should express the Cornwall that exists now.
There are some aspects of Cornish identity that are easier to define. Though it was once down to just 4 or 5 speakers, Cornwall has its own language. UNESCO only changed the classification of Cornish from extinct to critically endangered in 2009. But nowadays, there are around 400 to 500 people.
That's interesting. Does anyone speak Cornish? Let me know. Sounds like a beautiful language.
Who can speak it fluently. And that's all because of a very impressive revival effort that's taken place over the last 100 years or so.
We are now recovering our language, and as we recover our language, a lot of people actually learn about Cornish history through their language lessons as well. And then you learn about what place names mean, and then you understand and get a better relationship with your landscape.
I, as a child, wouldn't have even known that the Cornish language existed. It wasn't something that you ever saw. I mean, the visibility of the language has become so much more over the, probably the last 10 years even.
The Cornish people have bootstrapped their language from pretty much almost it being deceased. As a community, we're probably all quite proud of where we've got to, but I think we're also realistic that it's quite difficult to make it snowball very fast. It would help the community prosper, I think. Having a bit more pride enables people to build upon what they've actually got.
But while Cornwall is starting to rediscover its language and heritage, things haven't always been smooth sailing in this Celtic nation. And it's hard to deny that the Cornish are a marginalised community. More on that, though, in part 2. Okay. Until then, da Wellis. See ya.
Da Wellis. Okay, that was interesting video, for sure. Yeah, so it's a hard-working town, which is close to my heart. I'm a tradesman myself, and so I feel like I fit in well with those types of folks. And I get the isolation, or when an area or a group of people get stereotyped as being grumpy, I think they said. Those types of stereotypes. It's just, it's more about the culture than the area than it is about the friendliness of the people. I bet you're really friendly folks if we sit down and share a meal together or something like that. The one fellow was saying, we'll fight you, but then we'll take you for a pint. So, that's kind of how I grew up. I know a lot of fellows like that. So it doesn't bother me. I'm going to consider you friendly folk until somebody proves me otherwise. But, just from my experience, I've lived up north, and they often get that stereotype in the U.S. that they're not friendly, but it's not true. It's not true at all. They just have a different way of dealing with folks. Maybe they're more likely to help you if you ask, but not to offer, and that just is their way. Whereas in the South, we may insist on helping you even when you don't want it, and that's our way. And it's, neither one's right or wrong. Both have good intentions, and I think that's what really matters is what your intentions are. But if you're hard workers, you're isolated, you don't have time for a lot of nonsense, and I don't see anything wrong with that because, a lot of us don't. But I bet you find folk that are really interesting about your language. Some nice drone footage there of that city. If you're from Truro, let me know. If you speak Cornish, I'd love to know. So really interesting video. I'm going to react some more to that area for sure, and maybe some of the different cities, towns in that region. But looked gorgeous. Looked really gorgeous there. So if you get a minute to like and subscribe, I really appreciate that. It helps the channel so much. Until next time, y'all take care, okay?